Uh, Hello, Kusfu. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. And I just want to say thank you to for being on this interview today. And yeah, so my first questions will be, what is your image of the teacher?
Yeah. My name is Khushbunaz, and I'm currently working as an education leader with Edge Early Learning, Port Adelaide. Yeah. So, my image of a teacher is like I believe a teacher is a learner first.
Mhm.
A teacher is a co-learner and a researcher. A great teacher is someone who work to develop rich and responsive learnings and like to provide experiences, child-led experiences, I believe, that taps into a child's natural institutions, and like they're fully present and priority on being secure and trusting relationships as the basis of the learning of the children, definitely. So I really believe
Mhm.
a teacher is someone who is always learning and always giving the best childhood experiences to the children.
Okay. And how do you advocate yourself as a teacher and your personal values guide to work with both parents and children?
I advocate for myself, like communicating the way behind our pedagogical choices in a clear manner, like in a clear way. My guidance will be like personal values which are respected, and equity and transparency as well. This means like I am clearly listening to the parents. I'm clearly listening and welcoming to all the families around me, and I will always try to be very clear about my curriculum goals, any child's individual goals, and I it's like me. You build a strong relationship with all the children. It's like me. It's not only about me. I always make sure that everybody around me as an education leader that is making working collaboratively with the family. So this is how I really believe I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Thank you for that. And my next question is, how do you see your role as an administrator in early childhood setting?
I believe that I'm not into mm, particularly in management field because I'm not the assistant director or in a directorial position. I believe that education leadership is something which is more on a flow, and you can only guide your educators and work collaboratively in the with the team when you are working on the floor with them. So like an administrative role is there definitely, and it's to ensure that the service vision and culture is being realized through leadership and empowerment. I try to maintain both my administrative task and on floor task balance. I will try to always balance both of them, so I craft like professional and psychological safe environment with my team as well. I ensure that the service is compliant under regulations. We are following national quality standards. I always try to provide positive feedbacks to my educators, and I always try to maintain my all the administrative tasks like checking their observations, checking their books, and whatever is lacking, I can provide positive and impactful thing for my educators.
And did you find yourself quite challenging while working with your team and manage the center administrations, and why?
Honestly, I don't really believe that it's kind of challenging for me. Sometimes I would say that sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes I feel like that I'm neglecting my administration part and not doing very much about that. But I always try to balance both the things, and I always prioritize what desire most the improvement. If like me being on flow it's like more important, I always prioritize task according to that. I
Mm.
always make sure that the operational demands remains the most impactful thing, like whatever I need to finish on my on given task, I always make sure that I am solving all the problems, and or being transparent about my all the administrative thing. So yeah, that's somewhere is a challenge for me. Like sometimes I am lacking that sometimes, but yeah, I'm still working on this. And with my assistant director and manager, I'm trying to balance everything out.
That's good. And so, and how do you support your community?
For community, I would support the community. Like when I'm really engaging with them, when I'm actually providing an individual goal, personalized goal to their child,
Mhm,
whatever I'm gonna provide to my families is something is the best way to support them and to do something for the community. I will definitely serve our local families, whoever are coming to our center, because I will
mhm,
build partnerships. And definitely for further, I would love to do like workshops. Even tomorrow we gonna set up some workshop kind of thing outside of our childcare center, our kindergarten center. So this is how
mhm,
I will build relationship, by providing whatever services we are providing in our center. So I will do that.
mhm. Okay, that's good. And then, do you think like we can create or you can create a safe, inclusive environment to support a community?
Yeah, definitely, because we even in our center we are very inclusive team, and we have like different people from different background. We have someone from China, we have someone from Japan, we have someone from Nepal and India. So we have very diverse culture even in our center, and we make sure that we are providing safe psychological and cultural space for everybody. Our policies are always very clear about these, and we affirm that identities. When we value and embed diverse culture in our community as well as in our curriculum, we always try to make sure that we are celebrating Chinese New Year. We're gonna celebrate Diwali soon, so we always try to make and embed all the cultural things, so that our community, all the communities feel welcomed. And definitely it really helps families as well to identify whatever celebrations we are doing and which community they belong. So definitely it's very inclusive.
Okay, and then can you tell me like as being an education leader, what are the jobs you do as being early childhood education leader at your center?
So definitely the role of an education leader is very multidimensional. I on floor, whenever I'm on floor, I try my best to be the best role model. I try to do the best practices as much as I can. Definitely there will be some human errors because I'm human too, but I try to be the best I can do. With that, with my thing, I always make sure that I'm supervising and coaching all the educators around me. And mostly my role is mostly pedagogical, so I'm always doing something related to curriculum. I'm always making sure that my educators, lead educators, whatever they are, we have a teacher rainbow theme with edge. So I always make sure that they are definitely focusing in that. And I always make sure that whatever the daily stories they are doing, are they aligning the correct reflection of our EYLF framework. So or and monthly and weekly I always do audits. That's my job, to do audits whatever they are doing. I audit their story parks, I audit their book, I audit their observations. So that's how I support. And I also provide them resources how they gonna learn about like for example, I recently shared the observation template to everybody and how they can do better observation with time. So I always make sure that the curriculum respond to the child's interest, and it should be child led and not educator led, definitely. And I always support my team and critically positively reflect on their practices.
That's good, like everything, the curriculum and everything's because we are working on regards to the children. So on that one, doing rather than the teacher lead. We as you said, like you working as a child lead, which is most important in this curriculum.
Definitely.
So that's good. And like, can you list your day-to-day job looks like uh, how you start your morning and then you start your day as an education leader.
Yeah, so most probably, most of the time, like with Edge, it's like working. If I'm working, I'm currently working full time, so it's like working full time, 4 days on flow and 1 day off to do my all the administrative tasks. We do like that in with Edge. So most of the time, in my regular days, I'm on flow, guiding and observing all the practices around my center. So when I start, I usually start floating around the rooms, going to nursery, going to toddler's room, preschool room, pre-kindy room. So I always make sure that I am available in all the rooms, so that it give me better understanding what they are doing in all the rooms. And for my administrative thing, for doing curriculum, for doing audits and everything, I do one spare day, which I usually do on Fridays. On that day, on that day I particularly observe their books, how they're doing story parks, what things they are doing. I also plan what we gonna do next. For example, uh, uh, I just ask my lead educators to embed cooking experience for our children in every room. So this is what I normally do on Fridays. But sometimes it's not like particularly on Friday. Sometimes I divide my programming time throughout the week, like having 2 hours every day. And it's really depend about the because we work with children, so it's really depend with the ratio. If they need me in the ratio, I always jump in on the floor and always support and help around. If not, then
Mm,
I do my administrative tasks, definitely.
mm. That's good. And what are the most important priority area for you?
Most priority, so my most priority areas are, first of all, I really believe it's safety and active supervision and well-being is non-negotiable thing for me, because this is
Mm,
something which we have to do all the time. For example, it doesn't matter that we are doing some activity with them or not, or they are at high risk or not, we should be actively supervising them all the time. This is something which I really believe that it's non-negotiable for me. Another thing is, I would say relationships are really important for engagement. Like if I am having a good relation with that child, I will definitely able to engage that child with me. So this is something which is very important. High quality relational pedagogy is something which attract child to stay engaged with you. And another thing I would say, professional learning and reflective culture, always learning something new from resources from each other, and always reflection, critically reflect whatever we are doing. Are we doing correct? Are we really in need to do some changes? So these are the some main things, critical things, which I would say.
okay. And as you know, like lots of like child safety, ongoing news and everywhere that's happening at the moment. So do you think like anywhere a time might center or as being an education leader, do you think any priority area can improve or it's need to be improved to make a better, safe and quality center?
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost thing, I believe that the area which we really need improvement is like critically reflective culture, like taking positive everything rather than taking negative. for example, even yesterday we had some staff meeting. Some educators said that there is no very visible schedule around the room. So some educators might took it in a very wrong way and negative way, that the educator is trying to like belittle belittle them or something. But whatever the point she raised, it's a very good point, and we should be taking is very positively and like critically reflecting, okay, yeah, this is something which we are lacking, so we can improve that. Always being positive and improving, I believe this is something which is really important to work around in our early years centers. Definitely we can always do better for that.
And how much time do you spend on these different areas or various tasks?
So, I think I've already explained that in my normal week, I do like pedagogical leadership around 30%, 40% of my
Mhm,
time is administrative, and like other task is other most of the time I'm on the floor providing support to my team and doing
mhm,
professional engagement, community engagement with the families and children. So this is how I spend my different areas, definitely.
mhm. And can you share some example where you spend more time or like the time that needs uh, times how you like you need to have a work with a team being as collaboratively?
So for instance, like where you devoted additional time to an assignment, like when my team needed me at that time, I
Mhm,
really feel like flexibility and approach them whenever they need me. So like if I was busy with something, doing something big, or
mhm,
something like developing any curriculum or making some changes in observation cycle or anything. But if someone will approach me and say to me, oh, this is something which I'm having a problem with, I'm not able to properly do able to do, how do I need to do the weekly reflection? So I always make sure that I'm gonna support them and definitely provide them feedback first and how I can support them with doing that reflection. I
mhm,
always delegate a non-urgent task to a member, other educator, and I always make sure that I'm creating some time, high value time with the team and providing exactly feedback and exactly learning what they really want to learn. So that's how I
mhm.
do that.
Okay. And my next question, like as you had already answered some of the questions before, as being inclusive, or as your team member has from a different cultural background and a different country.
Yeah.
So, do you think the cultural diversity is important at workplace, and then not just with being a team member or at workplace, but also uh, that might impact to the childrens and the families? Like they might learn some things as being cultural diversity or inclusion.
Definitely, I believe cultural diversity is very important because of its reflection of society, its educational potential as well, and like its challenges to staff assumptions. Like, even if I'm saying something in a very polite way, positive way, but maybe my body language and the way my accent is might be differ with the other person's accent and their culture. So we gonna learn with each other. It really help us to be very calm and controlled and always reflecting whatever we are doing and always motivating us to the best practice, so that we can understand as a team each other, as a team to each other. So it's
Mhm,
definitely teaches us culture, make children feel they belong and
mhm,
respected them. We all like respecting them to promote their development as well, because we
mhm.
are for example, if we are multicultural, so we are embedding different kind of songs, we are embedding different kind of personalities. So it really helps children to learn what's going on around the world and what kind of people and languages are around the world. So it's always good
So
to be there.
as so as being education leader, have you any time did you try to, like try to put any curriculum or any weekly plan as being cultural, like as a song or as a language? Have you tried to reflect those diverse cultures, inclusions among the childrens?
Definitely, definitely. I always make sure I always audit my curriculums as well, my lead educators' curriculum as well. And I always make sure that they are, even I make every month the monthly calendar, event calendar as well. So in that, I always make sure that I am mentioning all the important dates around the world, like Diwali, Chinese New Year, or if there is any other thing we're gonna celebrate. So I always make sure that I'm embedding all the important things for our whatever educator in different educators we have. So I always try to make sure that I am including everyone some of the parts, so that children will also reflect, they will also learn about a new community, and they also get the uniqueness of the different community and culture. So I always make sure to do that.
Okay, so my last and final questions would be like as you said, like you already had answered some questions about advocate yourself, and like as being advocate yourself as a teacher, and how do you achieve your personal philosophy, or simply to cope that?
So I always prioritize time blocking.
Mhm,
I always free up space for my advocacy. Like I always plan personal thinking and planning, like meeting. I always use proactive professional communication to articulate whatever pedagogy and professional learning I need. And I always make sure that I always promote my best practices, and I always make sure that my effectiveness and how it helps me to prevent burnout. So I always make sure I'm advocating and always working towards that, definitely.
mhm. And what would be your suggestions on regards to as being education leader yourself, or as a good mentor, I would say, or a good teacher, where you can protect children safety and well-beings?
So I believe servant leadership is something which is very important, and being a leader is always being a servant first, like being a role model first. If you are doing a best practice, I always believe that it gonna reflect it, and people gonna learn from it. You just don't need to go and sit with them and always ask them to do stuff. But if you are doing, or you are already doing a good practice, a best practice, so the other person will definitely observe you and show their professionalism with that, and it definitely give you courage to do the best practices. And I
Mhm,
always ensure everybody is doing their best practice. I always make sure one of the most important thing that I can do is create an environment where staff know what it is safe, and
mhm.
for them to voice any concern if there's something which is wrong. So I know that I will make my own examples, I will make my own tones, and my responsibility I will do on time, my duties I will do on my time, and I will keep every child safe. They're gonna learn from it, definitely. So yeah,
Anyway, thank you so much for having this interview with me in regards to my project, and thanks for your time and effort, and all good. Thank you for today.
you're welcome.